Let's take a look at the dollar yen for the upcoming November the 3rd session. As you can see, we've had a retracement. We're going to see if we're going to have some follow through on the daily chart to maybe break out these lows over the next couple weeks, or if we do in fact get a maybe 1, 2, 3 bottom in here. We're going to keep an eye on that. So those are just things to put in your notes for the upcoming days and sessions. As we get down to the 4-hour, still some bearishness here, as you can see in the MACD. And as you can see from this trend line here, there's a really good trend line for us to keep our eye on in the upcoming sessions. And something else that we do want to note, let's get that trend line to stay there, is that we've just had a death cross. The faster moving average crossing the slower moving average here, the yellow being the 40 and the red being the 200 exponential moving average. So it's taken on a little bit of a bearish tone here with the moving averages as well. Now today's price action, again, it created a little bit of this volatility up one way, down the other, pretty much right back where we were when we started before the news. What's transpired here over the day, though, is just not a whole lot of price movement. There's a lot of news this week, folks. There's interest rate announcements on the euro, the pound, the US dollar. There's a G20 meeting at the end of the week. Probably not a lot of people wanting to put money on the table. But there will be some good shorter term trades. So what we're going to watch for on the dollar yen are 3 particular trades. One, we're going to be watching for a sell below this trend line here on a 60-minute chart. If it closes below that trend line on a 60-minute chart, again, we're going to be looking for a trend to develop here on the 1-hour chart. And the reason for that is we're neutral right now. The other thing we're going to watch for is a close above this resistance point here on a 60-minute chart. And then we're going to be very careful. That might be a little bit too close for you depending on where it's at, because we could come right up here and bump. So if that's not very comfortable for you, then wait for a close above this trend line here on a 60-minute chart to go long. So 3 possible trades here for the dollar yen. We have really 1 sell and 2 buys that we're going to be looking for right now. Again, we will look for a possible sell up here at this trend line if it holds. You see how it came up here and held last week, right? It came up here and held. And then we did get this trend line break, right? We had a trend line that we could draw out there in the future. And this is what we talk about. And then, it came through and slowly worked down. And if you remember last week, we told you, if you take a look at the video, this was one of the trades on a close on a 60-minute chart below there to really begin to sell and watch for those levels. So keep your eye out on these levels. A lot of people have been emailing in, and we thank you for that, on the positive results that they're receiving. So again, watch for one of 3 trades. A sell below this on a close of a 60-minute candle below this trend line here. Buys on a close above this one. Just be cautious if it hangs up here. Be prepared to whip that trade off the table if you need be. And then you kind of close above this trend line, the longer one on the 60-minute chart, we'd be looking for a long. And again, as we put in a couple of the other videos, we'll do the reminder that we're doing a live training session on how to trade the news between 10 p.m. Eastern Time and 2 a.m. Eastern Time on this coming Wednesday, right? Eastern Time, USA. And so it's about how to prepare for and actually make money in the market that precedes trading the news, where you actually don't have to sit there and be lickety-split and mash that button and have a heart attack and have your nitro on the table, a shot of whiskey and a bottle of nitroglycerin there, right? That's a combination to calm most people down by trading the news. There's an absolutely much more consistent, profitable way of trading the news way in advance of it, and there's a lot more hectic, destructive way sitting there waiting to mash the button. So if you'd like to learn about that, please join us for the free session we're going to be hosting Thursday. And the password will be emailed you once you register there. All right, folks, so those are the trades we're going to be looking for on the dollar yen in the upcoming November the 3rd sessions. Let's take a look at the pound dollar for the upcoming November the 3rd sessions. And really, there's just some great trend lines here on this pound dollar right now. So, and we're right at one of them. So we're going to keep an eye on this, and this may get to you too late. We apologize for that. We can't control price action. We wish we could. That would make all of our trades, right, 100% profitable. But this is, we've had this consolidation that's been going on. So what we're going to watch very, very closely, because these moving averages in here are very close. You can see they don't like to be close to each other for very long. As you can see back over here on the left-hand side. So we're going to be looking for some price action. We're going to look for a trend to develop here. We have some bearishness coming from the MACD. That's good. We're going to look for a close above this major trend line here across the top on the 60-minute chart for a buy. Close below this one on a 60-minute chart for a sell. That's all we're going to look for on the pound dollar. Again, a lot of people have emailed me, asked me, why does it do this with the news? Up, down, one way, down the other. Folks, the news is a radical, crazy way to trade and try. It's seriously, it's a bottle of nitroglycerin and something to calm you down. It's not the way to trade. There is a very effective way to trade the news. There's a couple key strategies that we've used for years, and you actually use that news move at sometimes to get the rest of your position off the trade. You can usually be in a position that's funded, right? Funded, where you don't have any more money at the risk, and you have a little bit left on the table to maybe take advantage of that. So if you'd like to learn about that, as we've said throughout the videos tonight, go ahead and type this link in here into your browser, register for it. It's going to go from 10 p.m. Wednesday evening Eastern Time, USA, 10 p.m. Wednesday evening till about 2 a.m. And during that time period, we do take an hour break for people to kind of look at what we've been talking about, look at their own charts. It's a little homework kind of session. It's good. Then you come back, your live questions answered in the live market. All right, and then we'll be looking for some trades, and hopefully you'll be able to see that how those develop out of that session. So we look forward to seeing you there. So those are the two trades, again, that we're going to be looking for on the pound dollar for the upcoming November the 3rd session, one buy, one sell.